Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care Ed Talks. Ed Talks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for the day is self care strategies for teachers, and to express her viewpoints on the same, we have with us Miss Pooja Bose, ma'am, Principal of Pacific Word School, Delhi. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out your time for us. It's an honor to have you here on board. So,
Always
ma'am,
a pleasure
speaking of self-care strategies for teachers,
of his own self. But the question arises that what is that self? What are the different elements of that self? Basically, self care means to nurture one's mind, one's body, also to take care of one's emotion and one's spiritual health also. So, physical health, mental health, emotional health, all of these are parcel of self care. And this started gaining a lot of attention because as you know that education industry comprises predominantly of women, and women tend to look after other people's comfort and health more than their own, and somewhere they continue to neglect themselves to quite a large extent till it becomes a cause of concern. So it is important to make the teachers aware of the importance of self-care, how it can lead to better growth of not only their own self but also their family, their organization where they are working. So it is the first step towards taking care of aging. Begin with your own self.
thank you so much, ma'am. Moving forward, ma'am, why is it important? Why is this self-care important for the teachers, ma'am, in your opinion?
Unlike the previous times when teaching was considered a very easy profession, and anybody and everybody would be ready to come into this profession because it's everywhere available, and also because it comes with its own perks of working only for half the day, unlike professionals working for corporate sector. Teaching now has become quite a demanding uh, profession, and it not only demands your time, it also demands your physical involvement. And also it is important to understand that now, with the pandemic coming into our social system, teachers have to spend a lot of time on in front of the computers, and they are expected to be tech savvy, they are expected to do well in the classrooms. So when we talk about hybrid model, we also need to understand that teachers are doing a very walking a very tightrope when it comes to satisfying the needs of the school academic needs. They are also expected to be mentors for the students, counselor and therapist for their students. They were expected to wear many hats. So, under the given circumstances, obviously, the teacher, spends a lot of time in preparing herself for the need, and also the her own personal needs take a back seat. And when she or he appears in the school, they have to appear happy, cheerful, geared up. So all of these things have to happen in our school system. It comes with a price tag. Thank you.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was very beautifully explained. Moving forward, ma'am, speaking of self-care strategies, could you mention a few strategies for the, educators who are, too stressed up and uh, all this, ma'am?
Yes, it's very, very important to have certain boundaries when it comes to your performance. So, if you want to give optimum performance, and if you want to give best results, and you want to give your 100%, obviously you can't be available 24/7. And that is going to happen only when you maintain and set your boundaries. For example, being available to the parents. Sometimes parents have a tendency of giving, sending messages at any time of the day. They expect that the teacher should be available, but it has to be coordinated, it has to be in an organized fashion. So set your boundaries around the time when you are available in the school and when you are not available. So your work life balance has to be maintained properly, so that you are more consistent and organized throughout the day, throughout the month. And you have to also take care of your mental health. We teachers undergo a lot of stress and trauma when it comes to dealing with parents who probably are not satisfied with the way things are, and there's a lot of unrealistic expectations involved around being a teacher. So this sometimes takes its toll on the mental health of the teacher, and the teacher has to take care of her mental health in the form of maybe meditations, or refreshing herself, or taking a power nap, or playing some games, or just basically not trying to understand or not trying to explain anything and everything to the other person, because sometimes it's not so easy for the other person to be empathetic towards your job. You know how difficult it is to take care of each and every child, to do justice to every child. But maybe the other parent feels that my child is the only one and has to be taken precedence over others. So that is not something which teachers can do. So you don't have to explain anything. So you have to set your principles correctly, and you also need to be fair and do justice to every child. But you don't have to continue to explain everything to everyone all the time. Sometimes yes, but not all the time. Another thing is that you also need to be kind towards your own self, rather than being harsh and trying to do everything like and getting a perfect 10 on all the jobs. So these are some of the strategies, broad strategies, which I think teachers should understand, and they must discipline themselves in, as when they have to correct the notebooks, it should be timely, and the work should not get accumulated. For example, I know of teachers who work every day a little bit, and when time of submission comes, they are quite relaxed. But then there are some teachers who continue to keep that work, pen that work till the 11th hour, and then suddenly there is a sense of dismay, and they are not very happy with the way things are happening, and then they get quite jittery about their submissions. So you need to have a routine, you need to have your self discipline intact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Lastly, ma'am, Pooja, ma'am, if I may ask, what do you do when you are, so stressed up with the work? How do you, what is your mantra? For example, a few educators, they suggest one should do meditation, and they just enjoy a, cup of coffee in their balcony. They just read books. So, what do you do, ma'am?
So I uh, believe in taking long walks. I believe in keeping myself hydrated. So I drink a lot of water. I think I do very basic things like physical exercise, drinking water, getting enough sleep, and also not doing my professional work all the time. It is important that you do not think about your work for some time of the day, so that your mind gets rejuvenated. This is something which helps me a lot. So maybe on Sundays, I will not think about work, and I will think about other things which are my hobbies. Or I will do some exercise. So one thing which teachers should do, look after their back and shoulders. Most of the teachers have a problem with their spines, their shoulders. That's something which they have to start taking care of right from the beginning of their professional lives, because that's something which will anyway get strained. Their vocal cords, for example, also takes a toll. So they don't have to scream all the time, and also they have to take care of their posture, their eating habits. They have to continue to look after their meals and not get neglected. So it's very basic regime which they should follow. But I do understand that some days are heavier and more stressful than the others, but by no means should you neglect these basic things like drinking water, eating meals properly, eating fruits, and taking care of your back, taking care of your physical health. You have to have some sort of you because of our sedentary lifestyle. We need to ensure that we exercise every day, or at least take long walks. Thank you.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much, Pooja ma'am, for being here today. It was lovely listening to your experiences.